What's up, squad? Back with another video. I see the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. How to show y'all some of this interview of, Mayor Fry. One thing about it, I watched a little bit of this interview, and I'm not gonna lie, it was some interesting questions. I can definitely tell that he got pretty mad at some of them. But let's just check it out right here.
I actually want to start our conversation by asking about a phone call that you had with President Trump earlier this week. I'd love to get your sense of that conversation, and if you can just describe that call to me.
First off, never in a million years did I think that I would be having a phone call with President Trump about this large-scale invasion that we're experiencing in the city that I love. So none of this feels normal. Yeah, I had a reach out from the chief of staff and Susie Walz saying that the president was looking to talk to me. We had already reached out maybe a couple of weeks prior looking to have some form of audience with the president so that we could explain how damaging Operation Metro Surge has been to Minneapolis and continues to be. A call was scheduled. Look, it was a relatively collegial conversation. He was flattering, certainly, at first.
Flattering how? What did he say?
He said that I was impressive on the television, in different words, I'm sure. But
he watches a lot of TV and watches people's performances. And what did you say?
Thank you. I said, thank you. I said, well, I must have gotten it from my ma, who is from Queens. And, of course, we talked about Flushing and Fresh Meadows, where my mother grew up. And we talked just initially about the East Coast. And then, of course, I made a clear ask that Operation Metro Surge needed to end. And, without getting into too many specifics, I will tell you there was a broad recognition that the present status is not okay. That what is happening needs to change. And of course, there were some changes made, certainly in terms of who is leading the operation in Minneapolis, a shift from a combination of Bovino and Nome to Homan. But as far as massive changes in this operation, I'll believe it when I see it. The troops and the federal agents need to be drawn down entirely. This operation needs to end because it has been devastating to the people that I care about and I love in my city.
And you imparted that message to the president at that time?
Of course.
The president initially said you had a good call, and then he was pretty complimentary, right, in public. But he posted that you were, quote, playing with fire for not being willing to enforce federal immigration laws, which sounds like a warning. I mean, how did you take those words?
We were never going to agree, and we have not agreed to enforce federal immigration law. Why? First off, it's not our job. I want our police officers doing their own work, not somebody else's. I want our police officers doing the important work of keeping Minneapolis residents safe, responding to 911 calls, stopping carjackings, preventing murders, the work of a police officer in a major city. You know what I don't want them doing? I don't want them spending a single minute hunting down a father that just dropped his kids off at daycare who's about to...
But this is what I don't get when it comes down to it, is that they start giving out scenarios. They start giving out scenarios or lies that they've came up with. That's what I don't like. Instead of being real about a lot of things, you can just tell just by this individual on that he has no type of character and he doesn't think before he speaks at all. I truly just don't get how an individual can sit there and say, we want our police officers to stop and name all these things that many of these illegal aliens are doing. Like I'm highly confused about that. I'm highly confused about that. Not to mention the things that's going down in Minnesota alone when it comes to the protests, when it comes to these Somalians that are literally taking money from taxpayers. I truly don't get that.
I don't want them spending a single minute hunting down a father that just dropped his kids off at daycare, who's about to go work a 12-hour shift, who happens to be from Ecuador. And by the way, this is not some wild out there, like radical leftist principle. This is a concept that even Rudy Giuliani, as mayor of New York City, adopted. Why? Because he wants everybody, including people that are undocumented, to feel comfortable calling 911 when something goes down. If you see a crime, call 911. Rudy Giuliani, the radical leftist Rudy, recognized that when he was mayor, and it's a concept that I think mayors around the country also recognize now.
After that call,
One thing that I've learned also from Mayor Fry is that he never takes accountability. He always throws a different individual into his BS, into his mess ups that he has. He does it all the time. He'll go, and speak and give out somebody else's name or a different city, that's obviously going through, some issues, rather than taking out accountability, within himself. I truly, it's insane.
Czar Tom Homan was dispatched to Minneapolis to replace, as you mentioned, Gregory Bovino, who had been running the operation. And Tom Homan gave a press conference where he described interactions with local leaders, including you, as moving in the right direction. The word that has been used is de-escalation. And I'm unclear what that de-escalation actually looks like, because what the federal government has been asking for is that cooperation. You're saying it's not going to come. So what exactly is it going to, practically speaking, look like if indeed things are going to de-escalate in your city?
Well, let's talk about what cooperation could look like. We do cooperate with this federal administration and with previous federal administrations on keeping people safe in our city. So if the goal is to drive down homicides and go after murderers, let's do it. We have worked with the FBI and the DEA and the ATF and the U.S. Attorney's Office and successfully driven down crime, and specifically shootings, to record lows on the north side of Minneapolis. We're willing to do that work right now. If they want to have strategic and thoughtful work that is targeted at criminals, the answer is yes. But why does this have to be about immigration?
But isn't that still a crime to be here illegally, though? So wouldn't that make you a criminal, or am I tripping? Wouldn't that make you a criminal? So what he's saying right now, yeah, of course, prioritize, with getting the horrible individuals that have, that criminal record. But also, it's still a job to do, just like any other president has done, including the one that people keep praising, Barack Obama, and he's done the same thing. Even worse, if you ask me. But I just truly, truly don't get how you have something and you have laws and they're clearly not following them.
Why does it have to be about whether a person has brown-colored skin or not?
Oh, here we go, bro.
The point that they're making is that
He's listening too much. He Ilhan Omar taught him that, I guess.
is about immigration enforcement, which is obviously part of the federal government's job and always has been.
Right.
So again, I guess the question is, you've talked to Tom Homan now. What are they asking for, and what are you willing to give? And, vice versa, what are they willing to concede?
Well, as far as de-escalation goes, they are saying that they will draw down the resources and personnel that they have located in our city, which, by the way, is ridiculous. And incredibly disproportionate. We've got 600 police officers. They have between 3,000 and 4,000 federal agents, ICE, and Border Patrol. They are saying, and I'm hopeful that they are being honest and candid, that those numbers will be significantly drawn down. They are saying that the way that ICE and Border Patrol has been conducting themselves will change dramatically. So, not these kind of marauding gangs of guys just walking down the street indiscriminately picking people up, but having more of a targeted operation. And look, this is not about ICE doing regular ICE stuff. What we have seen feels like an invasion.
I'm sure you've heard that a judge has said that ICE has violated nearly 100 court orders since its crackdown began in Minneapolis, which makes me wonder if you think you can enforce any agreement really with Homan and the federal government, considering that context.
That's the most dangerous question that anybody can ask, because we are in a world of hurt that goes way beyond any individual
Have y'all noticed that every question she has asked, he has beat around the bush to not answer the question directly? He will not answer any question directly. And that literally goes to show you that he's full of shit. Literally.
If we are talking about a federal government completely ignoring court orders, this is a foundational principle of our republic. And the battlefield that we fight on as municipalities and cities around the country isn't one of warfare. It is one of the law. The battlefield that we fight on and the battlefield that we are gonna win on is the law. A precondition of that necessary fight is that once the law has been determined and a court order comes down, that it's going to be followed. And so this is something that I get really intense and really pissed off about. This is not optional. You follow the law. A court order comes down. That's what this is about. And we should have everybody, Democrat and Republicans, losing it. It should be deeply concerning, not from an ideological perspective, but from an American one.
What are the options if they don't do that?
The options you don't even want to think about. I mean, I see where you're leading me, and you're doing the right.
I'm curious.
Well, and again, I'm not criticizing it. That this is the concern, and I mean, I don't even want to.
Look at this. Look, when you can tell just based off of a person's demeanor. If y'all notice, I want to show y'all something. 9:51. I don't know if y'all can see this, but let's see if we got something. See this right here? This demeanor starts off. I'm not perfect at this, but you can definitely tell he postured up right here because he's mad. Let me show y'all right here. See if they
venting murders. The work of a police officer in a major city. You know what?
You see right here how he has his hands on his thighs right here? He's very comfortable. He's very comfortable, and he's very what is the word? He's definitely very comfortable, and he's confident. He's confident. Just based off of you see his hands. He's comfortable. He's confident. When you start and getting deeper off into the conversation, and you slowly start to see his hands change.
That we fight on, and the battlefield that we are gonna win on is the law.
Let me show you.
A precondition.
He starts to slowly change where his hands is and his whole posture, just like we're going into. More of the end of the video. What I'm gonna show y'all, because she asked that question.
I'm not criticizing it. That this is the concern, and I mean I don't even.
He has one hand balled up on his upper thigh, and he has one hand balled up like this, because right now he has lost that confidence based off of the questions that she's asked. He doesn't know how to answer these questions at all. He doesn't know how to answer these questions at all. He's beating around the bush and just giving her a can of bullshit, because that's truly all he gives. It's just that. And right now he's frustrated because he can't answer, because he has he doesn't want to tell the truth. He doesn't really want to tell the truth. He's smart enough to know what's actually going on. That's the thing. He knows what's actually going on. And that's what he doesn't get. You can definitely just tell. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell somebody's whole demeanor on how they're acting and the ways they change. All you got to do is just pay attention to an individual and how they act. You definitely can. If you actually just stare, and I'm not saying just stare at individuals all day. I'm just saying, like, if you just take a quick glance and just see how they move, you definitely can tell. But honestly, he's probably like that anyways, because he's always full of it. One thing about it, he said that, they're not willing to work and this, that, and the other. Like I've showed y'all plenty of times, says Tim Walz is folding like a lawn chair, now agreeing to coordinate with federal law enforcement on violent legal criminals instead of resisting them. That's exactly what happens when pressure works and chaos loses. Get them, Mr. President.
Just got a statement from the office of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz about his conversation with President Trump that we reported on earlier. The governor's office called it productive, adding, quote, the president agreed that he would talk to the Department of Homeland Security about ensuring the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is able to conduct an independent investigation, as would ordinarily be the case. The president also agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and working with the state in a more coordinated fashion on immigration enforcement regarding violent criminals. Now, President Trump is sending a new direct report to Minneapolis. Veteran ICE official Tom Homan. It's unclear how he will work with leaders on the ground, like the chief and the chief at large of Border Patrol, Gregory Bovino. I spoke at length.
One thing about it is that regardless, I know President Trump definitely is, currently getting things together, definitely. It has been getting worse in Minnesota. I'm not gonna lie. This was just posted today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure. No, it was posted today. It's posted today. February 2nd says even more leftist anti-ICE roadblocks are being set up near Minneapolis, with residents forced to stop and identify themselves. This is what cartels do in Mexico. When I tell y'all, bro, that this is something that is very, very, very wild to me. It truly is. When I seen this and just the whole setup of how it is, this post by Nick Sorter, so y'all can go find this. It's absolutely insane. They got the stuff blocked off. ICE out. They got it blocked off. People watching. I ain't seen nothing like it.
I was just saying, it looks like in our system, your plates came up as an ICE plate.
Bro, what? I did not. I promise y'all, I did not. I promise y'all, I did not see this part. I truly thought this was a video to where they was just showing the ice blocks. Not the ice blocks. Well, I guess the ice blocks, they kind of go together. You know what I mean? But I thought it was just truly, they're literally checking people. They said it came back an ice plate, y'all. And their system, they got a system.
It's our Somalian Uber driver, man. Our ice?
Doing good, yeah. I was just saying, it looks like in our system, your plates came up as an ICE plate. That doesn't seem like it's the case, but I just wanted to come through and see what was up.
It doesn't seem like it's the case because he's Somalian. Bro, this is insane.
See how you were doing? Okay, I figured, yeah.
I mean, he's clearly Somalian.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's clearly Somalian, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Glad
Somalian,
to
y'all.
hear it. What's your name? Ali? Ali, nice.
How long have you guys been out here today? Are we good though?
Yeah, we're good.
I do want to ask, what's the system you guys are using out here? I mean, because it's obvious that was wrong, right? I mean, the guy was just a Somalian Uber driver, not
Well,
ICE.
the thing is, ICE, they're renting a lot of cars, but yeah, we'll take this off the list. Yeah. Who y'all with?
We're honestly just from California, just independent photojournalists. Names
Okay, do y'all have like a Twitter or something?
Jorge Ventura.
Jorge Ventura?
Yeah, Jorge Ventura.
All right, cool. Thank you.
How long has this been set up, man? Like, the images of this are going viral online. That's what we came. I don't know if you know if they're going viral. But.
Yeah, no, I heard that. People are people saying that, and a lot of the neighbors support what we're doing. So happy to be here.
Has local law enforcement said anything?
Not that we know of. No.
This is on Tim Walz and Mayor Fry, as y'all can see. Have local law enforcement said anything? Oh, no. They haven't said anything. You literally have individuals that lie to President Trump's face, and I cannot wait till President Trump applies the pressure that needs to be applied. I promise you I can't wait. I promise you I can't wait. I promise you I can't wait. After seeing that video, I literally thought that video was just, they had the roadblocks. That's literally, I just thought it was just the roadblocks. I didn't know that, and maybe I should, it's really my fault that I didn't know that. But I'm glad I actually see a lot of these videos, and I'm watching it for the first time with y'all. So President Trump just, slammed Minnesota and the Somali invaders. Says Minnesota is a mess, and there's something in the water up there. It's a rigged state, and really rigged bad. And more. It's President Trump and Bongino. Check it out.
Minnesota, if they allowed us to do the job, it's a mess. There's something in the water up there, and I love the state. I won the state 3 times, but I got no credit for it. I won that state 3 times, but it's a rigged state, really rigged badly with the Somalians and the theft. And I guess you studied it, but I hear it's over $19 billion, okay? Can you imagine? They have a country where they have no money, they have no nothing, and they come over here and they steal. They're able to steal more than $19 billion. And we're right on their ass.
Yeah, that was
We're
one
right
of the first
there.
cases
But
when I got in
These are people that don't work. Yeah. Dan, these are people that don't work. These are people that are just not an asset to our society, to put it mildly. And we got to get them out, most of them. And it's most of them.
I want to tell the audience.
92% don't work.
Yeah.
And they have an unbelievable system, corrupt system of welfare. Many of them drive Mercedes-Benzes, had nothing when they came over. The good news is, you notice they don't see ships being stolen anymore from Somalia? Because we hit those guys with the same weapon that we take out the drug dealers from the ocean. We stop. Every time we hit a boat, we knocked out. We saved 25,000 lives. Each boat, and pretty accurate, each boat is responsible for the death of 25,000 Americans. Think of that. Okay?
You can just tell President Trump is like excited, and he's more, he's happy with the things that he's accomplished. You can definitely tell.
And we knock them out like candy. We are knocking them out. We also do that with the pirates in Somalia. That's why you don't see ships being taken anymore, because they don't play games. So, they were stealing ships every day. Now it takes courage to steal ships. They don't do it. You understand. And you did a great job while at the FBI, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well, it was under your leadership and working.
Definitely love. I'm not going to lie. One thing about it, this is the White House that has posted this. At White House says stand with ICE. I've showed y'all many times on why, it's definitely important to stand with ICE. These are just, some of, these innocent victims, and it's definitely sad. These are, some young ladies or a young man, and it's truly a lot. Like it's definitely a bigger picture that I've showed before. But one thing about it is that I definitely stand with them. And what's going on. One thing about it says poll finds Americans overwhelming support ICE enforcement and continued deportations. It says 61% support mass deportations, 58% oppose defunding ICE, 54% back continued ICE operations, and 73% say illegal entry is a crime. And definitely, definitely look at the simple fact that it's one of those things that, you will want that number to be definitely higher. Because again, a lot of it is common sense, especially, when you have it's a crime, but at the same time, you have to, you start somewhere. It definitely takes, some people, a little bit of time. Definitely takes some people a little bit of time when it comes down to it. We always see individuals. We always see individuals that clearly, post on X or post on TikTok and I'm done with the left and I'm done. Those are the individuals. I was one of those individuals years back. And really, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was and I wasn't, and I say that because I grew up with, a Democratic, family, but at the same time, I didn't consider myself a Democrat. I never considered myself, And if it is, it was because, within my parents, and meaning that, when it comes to, I remember it was one point in time where, I was excited about, Obama. I didn't understand nothing, obviously I was young. But just growing up and just seeing and start seeing stuff from seeing stuff on my own and just seeing how things were, I was like, yeah, this definitely not it. So definitely, it takes some people time when it comes down to it, but I definitely love to, see those numbers. One thing about it, since California is next, I know y'all been seeing Nick Shirley, y'all been seeing Benny Johnson, and some others that are exposing a lot of things that's in California as well. Minnesota isn't done though, so don't think it is. Still going to continue to do what I can as much as possible. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all much. Love to everybody. Catch y'all next one.